Hello, welcome to our show, Embracing Your Design for Midlife Transformation. The tagline, Come Alive to Impact More Lives. As a tiny habits coach, happy for no reason trainer, and a Gene Keys guide, I invite soulful professionals to have conversations related to their life experiences, businesses, human design charts, and hologenetic profiles based on gene keys and ancient I Ching. Enjoy our show. Hello, hey, I have my honor to have the guest today, Kerstin Grünling, multiple award-winning personal branding photographer. And she put the essence of whatever she take the picture with, and that joys and all the hidden message is all in there. So I'm so thrilled to have the chance to talk to her through our conversation. Do you want to say hi to our audience first?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Sunny, for having me here. I feel absolutely honored to be invited to your show, and I am a brand and personal brand photography specialist, and I'm also a human design coach. I am German. I'm living in Scotland.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you the first question. I believe everybody all have some kind of a navigation through their life, and at a certain point, we just see something we didn't see before. So I wonder, you want to share some moments in your life for you to become who you are today?
I'm delighted to do that. Because I think my story, a lot of people have a similar story, but there are possibly a lot of people who might not cut the corner in the right direction at some point. Because my life, I did not start as a photographer at all. When I was finishing school, I did the usual stuff because my dad wanted me to get a job. So I went to uni to study something. So it was not encouraged at all to follow your joy or to follow what you really want to do. It was more, yeah, girl, go to uni, you need to get a degree, you need to get a proper job, and then you stay in this job and you go up the career ladder, and then you go further up, and then you retire and you die. Yeah. So that was the path. Yeah. And so I was set up in this path, and I did climb up the career ladder in corporate. I wasn't really working on that because I was just kind of doing my thing. I was always quite authentic to who I was. That was a good thing. But then about 20 years ago, I was in my mid-30s. That's how old I am. Um, in my mid-30s, I traveled from Germany to Scotland, and I fell in love with the country. It was just so beautiful. And then a year later, I went to the Outer Hebrides, which is a belt of islands west of Scotland, quite remote. Everything is kind of 200 years behind. Yeah. And it is, and everything is slow. Yeah. And I was in this island, and I thought, oh my God, I need that. So I need this stillness. I need this quiet. I need this slowness. And I set an intention. I thought, I will be moving to Scotland. So, and I did. And it was in 2007 that we just kind of, it was 3 years in the making. Yeah, I moved to Scotland. I had still my job in Germany. They were actually flying me back and forth every week. I was commuting from Scotland to Germany, which was
Wow.
cool. It was a bit weird, but I didn't do that for a long time. And then I resigned, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I want to find what gives me more joy. And I know now how important that is for me.
Yes.
So through no coincidences, because they don't exist, I got to start studying photography, which was always my dream. I always wanted to be a photographer.
Oh.
So I found the opportunity in Scotland to get to college and to get a degree in photography. So I started with 36 or 38 years old. I started becoming a student again, and I was thinking, oh my God, I love every second here. There are people teaching me stuff I really want to learn. Yeah. Instead of, I studied law in Germany. Yeah. Yeah. Where's the fun in that? And so I graduated in 2011, and I was a photographer on the paper. But then something else happened. I was headhunted back into corporate. And I do believe it had to be because it was just kind of this, it was just, I think I wasn't ready. Yeah. And I had this headhunter. It was a weird story. This headhunter found me. He really found me somehow and was going via my photography website, getting to my phone number. And they were offering me a job that was the only thing that I would ever have done again in corporate. And I was running out of money. I had no money left. I was depleted. And then I thought, right, I'll do that for a couple of years, and then I'll build up my photography business aside, which didn't really happen because I couldn't build it up on the side. But I had it running. I didn't lose the dream. And in 2019, which was a bit more than 2 years, I have to say, I quit again. I quit for good. And I said, right, I need to do that now, because if I'm not doing that now, I will never, ever do that. And that was when I was 50. I just turned 50 when I did that. And then I was back in the world. I'm a photographer. How do I do that? I had no idea how to run a business. And then when the lockdown happened in 2020, I went on a journey of personal development. And I mean, I'm still on this journey, but this journey was kind of changing everything for me. And I built up my business. I figured out that I can actually do what I want to do instead of following things like, okay, you're a photographer, then you need to do weddings and this and this and this, this and this. And no. And I found brand photography, because brand photography is such a lovely interaction with an individual. So I work with small business owners. I work with solopreneurs, how they call it. I work with coaches and therapists, and that's the people I'm working with, and healers. And then it was, I grew my business. It worked really well, and but I was still stressed. I was still not really in my element. I was still not feeling this connection to me and who I was, and so I still had this corporate hangover with me. So I was treating myself like my best employee, yeah. So, but I was not the best boss. I was kind of trying to grind and do and work hard, because working hard gives you all that, which is not true. And then I found human design. And that was the point where everything changed. Now everything makes sense. My whole life suddenly made sense. Everything that I didn't understand made sense. My energy levels made sense. So I was thinking, oh my God, here I need to dive really, really deep into that. And then I went on my own exploration with my own human design, embodying my human design, living it. And that gave me a new level in my photography business, because I embraced that I'm a projector. I was embracing that I see people in a different way.
Yeah.
I embraced my gift of bringing joy. And I brought that all into my business and into my shoots and into my work with my clients. Because I was suddenly so confident about who I am. It was amazing.
Yeah, just like I heard so many people coming here to share their journey. Sometimes we feel stuck. It's not actually stuck. It's forced to pause And maybe in that moment, we do something different. We kind of get to the end, the energy kind of drain, but then that is the opportunity for us to open another door. Just like you mentioned earlier, say maybe a lot of people in that moment, they think about they're just kind of pushed to the corner. There's no way out. But from my experience, your experience, and all other people I talk to, they get out to that stuckness. They all really appreciate that moment, right? It's like we are in the wrong path. Then we are directed to really go back to who we really are. Like you're doing the same thing. You're still taking the picture, but because that pause, then you start to see things differently and use different way and treat you as a best friend other than the best employee. So I mean, this is amazing. And since you are like certified human design too, like did you using that to help your client to show out their best before you take the picture of them?
There is that I have added another level in
Uh,
this year, which was a huge expansion for me.
mhm,
So when I was through my first part of the journey, with embodying my own human design and getting into alignment, I was just so fascinated about the human design that all my clients, I was always asking them for the birth data so that I could look at their design, and when I felt that they were receptive, I was telling them a little bit more. When I thought they are not that receptive, I was just taking the information for myself
yeah.
because it was giving me information on them, who they are, what is right for them, what are they here to share with the world. So I could, that gave me more depth in seeing them. That is a human design certification that includes human design for business,
Mhm,
and it also includes alchemy, energy work. So it's not only the human design technology, but
mhm,
it's also the energy, and how can you apply that to your business in order to run an aligned business that works and gives joy, instead of
mhm.
trying to start with run a business like a lot of business coaches tell you to, but it might not be the way that works for you.
Mhm, mhm.
So I went into the certification right away. When I heard about it, I'm in. I'm doing that. I'm doing
Yeah.
that.
Mhm,
And it was,
mhm.
of course, for me, more growth as well, going through the certification, because the way my coach was doing that was saying, you are your first client. Yeah, you need to do everything for yourself. Yeah, you need to learn
Yes.
everything for yourself.
Mhm,
Yeah, and the chart reading, and exploring the empowerment, disempowerment of the centers, of the gates, of the channels, everything. Yeah, so I got a deeper level in myself. But I also got the knowledge, more knowledge to share with other people. I was promoting it in my brand photography, saying that I'm using my human design and to see you on a deeper level. The images were that there was a visual difference between the before time and the human design time. Yeah, that it was just the power of really using your gifts, knowing about your gifts and using them empowered. Yeah,
mhm.
they just bring cracking results. And also it opens up the other person, because brand photography is a very intimate thing. Yeah, especially when
Mm.
you want one-to-one, because lots of people don't like someone with a camera in their face. Yeah, that's not a pleasant
So you
experience.
have to kind of get to know their personal level, let them feel at ease, right?
Exactly.
And just show up their best.
Exactly. And as with my projector vibes, I can connect really deeply and see the people on a different level, and
Mhm,
bring also their strengths out. But then in our exploration, I do lots of um calls with my clients. They get a workbook so that I get my initial information coming from, where they're going. But then I obviously look at the human design chart, and then I start exploring with them. And then we go into the visual aspects and we explore stories and we explore, we go into wardrobe and all those things and into colors and into branding and people find themselves and feeling seen and feeling encouraged to be themselves. So that is my mission in the brand photography. So I did the certification and I had no idea what I'm going to do with that. I just knew I trusted that at some point it will kind of all fit together. So
Yeah, that is the best attitude. Just open,
yeah.
don't label anything because we have this limitless possibilities. Our physical mind can only picture something we experienced. We know from the past, I have these talents. I know who I am, but then I'm open for everything. And things will start showing up, right? I don't know about you, have some kind of synchronicity happening in your life. Maybe clients just show up, I don't know where they're coming from. Do you have something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. A random one-to-one with someone, and I talked about because I do talked about human design, and she was so interested, and then I said, do you know what? I'm just putting a program together for this. So I will be launching that later this year. It will be running for, it will be 3 months. I will be launching a beta version to a very small price because that's what I used to build the program. And then she said, I'm in. And I said, what?
See,
What?
yeah,
What?
this is really when we are thinking about something, whenever we think about something, someone needed. Part of a human design system, it's called gene keys, is exactly doing that. Like we have all the DNA, we have all the genetic codes. We just need to activate whatever we equip with in the right timing. I'm very honored to be the one to share with your the 4 prime gifts in human design is your personality, sun and earth, your design, sun and earth. But in Gene Keys language, is the doing and being. You have a special imprinting in your DNA the time you were born. So you will have the more awareness, consciousness about what you do, you like to do, not like to do, who you are, like it or not like it. That's that part is the personality. But the design side is in the gene keys, our beingness. Usually we need time, like you take about stillness and pauses, then just have a break. Then we have a chance to connect to that beingness. So on the gene keys language, the radiance and purpose. Because when we are really solely relaxed and enjoy what we do, then we become radiant. Then the life purpose will come to get us. We don't need to chase that far. We still need to do something, right? But in a way, you just need to get ready and say the right words and show up in the right place. That connection is just the purpose there. So for your life work and evolution, that 2 keys kind of pair with our doing. That's how we learn our lessons. And between the 2 spheres, that line was called challenges. That means we all born with some kind of imprinting. We need to go through some challenges. But the purpose is not to push us down. It's more like make us stronger. So we all have this default energy we don't really like. We call it shadows. So for 58, that, by the way, that's the double lakes. In I Ching hexagram has the picture of 8 different natural phenomena. So for 58, it's double lake. So that means you got a lot of water in there. And it's also peaceful and beautiful. You see the lake, if you're on the high mountain, it's just peaceful, right? And your evolution is just by a chance. I don't think that's a chance. It's double mountains. So you are really, kind of a stillness and in the higher mountain, and just to see things differently as a projector, right? So with that, your challenge is we go from the shadows, which the 58 shadow is dissatisfaction. So there's like you mentioned about you have careers, but then it just something is not fit. So you need to find something make you happy, right? And the 52, that's your evolution. There's a lot of stress when you start it because you need to have a stress and dissatisfaction. Then you combine these two, and then you drive you to break through something. With your 3-5 profile as the projector, the threes give you a lot of options, like a lot of error and trials. Right? You have to go through it. And 5 is really to put all your wisdom together to share. But because the 58 and 52, you actually you're insightful from the learning. And so you can share that with your client through the human design consultation, through your personal branding for photography, because you actually teach them other than to read the books, finish the chapter 1 to 3. But now you just tune in with their energy because from your human design profile, you only got 2 defined center. That is amazing. That means you have a
Very
more opportunity.
reflector.
Yeah, you get more opportunity to know other people because their energy will kind of come in with your empty defined center. Then you know them in this energetic way, right? So that's your doing part is put your observations and your fuel to get better and strive for the joy. Then you finally put together, then you will have the stillness like a mountain, but then it's not only just being there, it's still using your presence and using the joyful connection with others. Then that's your doing. Then you are in a perfect business in my eyes, right? Photography and human design. I don't know whether you want to add something.
I always feel from the gene keys, they go so much deeper in a different level because it's really connecting with the genetics. So I find that so fascinating. You were just giving me some new insights in my 52 and in my 58 because I have not that deeply looked at the hexagrams, and that I have a double mountain and a double lake just kind of blew my mind. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Like you and me, I have the open solar plexus. Like I trap so many people's emotions through my life, right? I try to solve what's wrong with me, why I feel sad, why I feel angry, but it's not my emotions.
That was such a breakthrough,
Yeah.
Sunny. That was such a breakthrough because my partner, he is an emotional generator.
Mhm.
And when he had an emotional low, yeah, I could feel it at the other end of the house.
Mm.
And I was getting, yeah. But understanding at some point this is not mine was such a mind-blowing moment. So
Yeah.
now when he has the low, and I thought, and I go to him, yeah, are you the language here in the house is, are you having a mad day? And then it's yeah. And also understanding that with the open center, the open solar plexus center, that we experience their emotion amplified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the scale of 1 to 10, he sits there with a mad day at 3, and we feel a 8. Yeah. And we're thinking the world is
Exactly.
having
Yeah.
fun.
Then we don't understand. So we put a label on it. Must be the person I talk to, must be my mom, must be whatever, right?
Making my life so much easier, just
That-
knowing that this is not my feeling. So,
That's
oh no,
right.
that's not mine. That's theirs. That's theirs. I'm just here to sample it, to taste it, and then let it go.
What I'm gonna to share with you your beingness based on your gene keys profile. So once you're doing enough, you evolve and you become more mature. So you have a certain series of breakthrough that will go to revisit your childhood a little bit and try to understand why I think about this, why I particularly like or don't like certain things. That might be the imprinting process when we are young. So you go through that. Then occasionally you will have some kind of like, oh, actually, I don't need to do anything. You are just perfect. But not necessarily we stay in that state, right? But when you see it, then you become to have more of the affiliation to say, yeah, why not, right? So for you, you're the 18 radiance key, and that is when you're learning, when you're getting more skillful, you will find a judgment standpoints. But it makes sense. We all need to judge when we're getting older, when we make the choices, we need to see which one we choose. So the judgment, in a way, is needed. It's just attached to judgment become a problem, right? So when we become more up and see things from a different angle, and the judgment become such a tool, great tool for us to go up to the integrity. Integrity is not like the moral stance. Okay, you are honest, you are the good person. Integrity is really seeing the whole view. So you found a judgment to see good or bad, black and white, but then when you get the consciousness going higher and you have integrity, that means you see both, you accept both. So you don't really say, this is not good, get away, other than, oh, I appreciate your show up, so I know I have another quality. So those two together, you start to have integrity. So for you, I think as a photographer, as a branding person, I believe you can see your client when they come in, you read their file, but then you don't really just highlight their good, using their differences as the reflection, right? So that you can catch their essence. And when they are really relaxed, they can show up too. But if they are not, they judge themselves. Then it's really hard to let them to shine and become radiant. So you have a natural talent. That's your radiant. That's your beingness, because you can just influence your people when they show up to talk to you, and they can feel you're just connect with them no matter what. And so from their point, you can influence them to release their self-judgments. Then
Oh, that's so
show
lovely to
us the
hear.
perfection. So that is your Jinkies also has different vibration from the shadow to give to the city. City is kind of like you're just pure lights. You don't have any things, is you're pure. So that is the shift from your radiance from judgment to integrity to perfection. Because you see everything, you accept everything, and we are perfectly made, even we are not perfect in every sense, everywhere, but we are perfect who we are, right?
The judgment, I know this is so interesting, because that was when I started with human design, looked at my chart, and with my one channel named judgment, I thought, oh, yeah, I see you. Yeah. But then when you look at the whole channel, because it is the 18 and the 58, yeah, and it's kind of improvement and joy and vitality, so which then or correction, which then makes sense again, because it's kind of seeing the things that could be bring more joy and happiness.
To that purpose key, that's just like you say, we need to become something we can do. So the being and becoming, being is the radiance, the purpose is our becoming key. That means we coming with a mission. Everybody sign up something to be here, right? So then we need to kind of see what is things we can really effortlessly do. Because when we align, the purpose will show up. But before that happens, we still need to do something. We still need to polish our skills. So for you, you are the 17. 17 is very interesting too. Let's start with opinion. Everybody has opinion, but that's our head center, our ajna. We need to have opinions. That's how we share, right? If we have the same, everybody see the same thing, then it's no fun. When you have no growth, right?
No.
Everybody's perfect, and you know what to get better. So the opinion is really even just toward to ourselves needed. We can not using the harsh way. We can gently remind ourselves, "Hey, Sonny, you're not doing this because you got opinion or something you don't want to pursue." But then that voice still needed. It's not criticized. It's not a self-critic we talk about, but it's a gently reminder, say, you're here, you signed a contract, you need to do something. You couldn't just sit there doing nothing. So from that, you start to raise your consciousness, become far-sightedness. I mean, you start to find that opinion like pigeonhole, but you start to see different angles. So you can start to raise your awareness, and you can see that opinion you used to have is important, but they have other opinions we can consider, right? So when you practice that to become your gift, that's your farsightedness. So you can project out in a way, no, this is the direction you're heading, but not limit yourself, say, I only see this as what I want. But then you can open your options, the limitless possibilities showing up for you, right? So you find in there, you can finally go out to the highest, the Omi science. The Omi science is more like we accept everything as it is. It's science behind everything. So we don't really say, oh, that's no science. That's the woo stuff. Everything is the science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is your being and becoming, and it's the core stability in between. That's how we only need to play a little bit, then retuning to align with our beingness.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much.
But thank you
That's
for being my guest and willing to share your insights as well.
that is so beautiful to see how the gene keys bring a different level and a different sequence to it. Which when someone explains it like you, someone who is a specialist, is an expert, a gene keys expert, when you talk about it, it just kind of feels so flowy and so beautiful, and I feel so happy that I'm actually going on in the right direction for the sequence of the gene keys.
Then we have two other sequences. It's called Venus. It's more like go deep dive with your childhood imprinting, your emotional imprinting, yeah, the red color. Then how you relate it to other people and how you attract to your relationship, everything for us to grow. And the last one is called Pearl. It's more like a human design business. It's the alignment with your talents and with all the skills. And so the Pearl sequence is for us to put your personal brands into the system you're going to build and what the serving style and the culture you're going to grow with your business. And that is really the quantum, because your personal brand, then you have your service, you have your community, then those three things start to mingle. Then you have this pearl inside of that quantum structure. And the pearl is our lifelong mission. It's like polish and nurtured for everything we do. In order for pearl to be a pearl, you need to start with the irritated sand that we hate it. We want to kick it out so badly, but then they are there just to wait until we decide to embrace it and love it. And
Oh, such a
pearl will be
lovely
shining. So yeah.
analogy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was looking at this bit of the gene keys for the brand as well, because you have
Mhm.
the vocation in there as well, and which I which I'm planning to look a bit deeper into as well.
Yeah.
So to connect the things together.
I'm the number one person I'm get into the rabbit hole, but this is the perfect rabbit hole for me to get, because I can get all the answer from that. I don't need to go out find any other things anymore, because this got all the answers.
What I remember when we had the first conversation, I went really, really super excited to my scientist boyfriend. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I was just speaking with this microbiologist, science, gene keys expert, and she was explaining me all the things, how that with the genetics come together. Yeah. And he, and because he is a scientist, he's a chemist, and when I started with human design, he was just thinking,
what is that stuff?
And then he said, I cannot understand how anything that is built on my date, place, and time of birth can say anything about who I am. And then the next thing was, but it's accurate.
Exactly. Well, everything's energy. We just didn't know it. But our ancestors, they have a system to put together, then we can get a hint. We cannot still really define ourselves, because every moment we can choose and it can go different way. But at least there is a reference point. If we're so far away from the original blueprints, then we have a way to adjust it back. That's how I see how I'm going to use it, because really that is just like the script for a movie. But we are the director, we are the actress, we are everything we want to be in that movie by choice. But if we don't even know there's a movie there, there's a kind of script in there. We know that story. We can easier to move it. Too far, okay, back in a bit, go too far that way, go back to the little bit. So we become more flow and we have more trust, right? Other than say, what, I'm still stuck in here. You might be there to be 30, I am there to 30 years. I have totally no trust. I'm angry all the time, but now I see that, oh, I need to be there 30 years. So I live through it. And now I'm getting to the next way. And I can see that coming. So become more fun, that's just have some fun. Before I let you go, how other people coach in the healers and they have the heart-based, soul-based business, how they find you the easiest way?
I'm hanging out on LinkedIn. I have a website, which, like everyone else's website in this world, needs updated.
Yeah, we are evolving beings. Every moment we're different than the moment before.
I know, it's so funny. It's so funny. The website that always needs updating, and on Facebook or direct email is not a problem. I'm happy for anyone who wants to have a chat with me, wants to learn more. In the brand photography, I travel. I have no geographical restrictions. I'm happy to travel. I love traveling, to be honest. Yeah. I love to meet new people. So if anyone who would love to speak to me is absolutely invited to come into my field and into my inbox and speak to me.
It is just everything I have interviewed people and looked at profile, I just feel I met another goddess or god, because they are really coming here to do great things with society, with humanity. So I personally want to thank you to show up as who you are and do the great thing to let other people to show up as who they are. So I really appreciate you.
I also appreciate you a lot, and thank you for the insights you gave me about me again, once again, more insights that I didn't have before, and sharing your wisdom with me, letting me being part of your world and showing up in your community and having this beautiful conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Kerstin, bring your lights to other people and light up others as well.
I do my best. That is my desire.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.